Ladies and gentlemen, it just happened. The man Democrats trusted to help contain the chaos just flipped the script and stabbed Gavin Newsom right in the back. A judge has just made a very stunning ruling that has blue state leaders panicking and, full-blown meltdown mode, guys. So this is not just a court decision. This is a political earthquake, and it's ripping right through the Democratic Party like a wildfire that they just cannot control. And now, after years of bashing ICE, trashing law enforcement, and mocking military involvement, Democrats are they're literally screaming for troops in the streets to protect themselves from the monster that they help unleash. So guys, you're about to see how a federal judge sided with ICE, humiliated Gavin Newsom, and opened the floodgates for military control in Democrat-run cities. And it gets even crazier because now top Democrats, they're turning on one another. Voters are fleeing in droves, and one senator just said the quiet part out loud, guys. In just a minute, I'm going to show you exactly what Senator John Federman just said on live TV that left Democrat strategists in shock, and how House Speaker Mike Johnson exposed the biggest mistake yet. Also, later in this video, I want to break down the devastating poll numbers that have CNN in panic mode and why what Hillary Clinton said this week that might just end her career. So do not go anywhere, guys, because what's happening right now is not just politics as usual. This is a full-blown collapse, and it just started with a judge that they never expected to betray them. By the way, if you guys appreciate the daily news updates, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for that. I really do appreciate you. So here's what really kind of started everything. Gavin Newsom didn't just miscalculate. He tried to stop the federal government from doing their job. Now, as violent ICE protests explode across Los Angeles and other blue cities, Gavin Newsom didn't double down on security. No, he actually formally requested that federal troops, ICE agents, and National Guard forces be blocked or restricted from operating in California. His excuse? That a federal presence would, quote unquote, escalate tensions. Is this guy a complete idiot? But I want you to ask yourself, if law enforcement is being bombarded with Molotov cocktails and frozen water bottles, who exactly does Newsom think is going to stop all that, right? The city council? TikTok influencers? Seriously, right? So this wasn't about keeping the peace. This was Gavin Newsom trying to maintain political optics. He wanted California to look like it had it all under control. But meanwhile, the streets were burning down right behind him. And then all of a sudden, boom, came the bombshell ruling. The federal judge denied Gavin Newsom's request straight up. The court sided with federal jurisdiction, saying, in effect, California doesn't get to interfere with federal operations, especially during a national security event like this. So this is why this is being seen as a total betrayal. So this wasn't just a conservative judge. This wasn't just some right-wing courtroom. This was a system Newsom thought he owned, and it ended up turning on him. So clearly, it's a slap in the face, it's a stab in the back, and it shattered the illusion that Democrats still had control over how this ICE chaos would be handled. So the judge didn't just rule against him. He ripped the mask off the whole strategy. Gavin Newsom wasn't protecting Californians. He was blocking the cavalry. So, and what happened next? Guys, the chaos exploded. Riots got even worse. Law enforcement got hit harder, and even some Democrats started breaking ranks. So I need to talk to you guys about how this violence really escalated and how Senator John Federman shocked everybody with his bold stand against the mob. You do not want to miss what he said and how the party reacted. So now, after the courtroom decision hit, things didn't calm down. They exploded. In fact, ICE agents became targets in the streets of Los Angeles. Guys, we're talking fireworks being launched, frozen water bottles being hurled, Molotov cocktails lighting up intersections. Protesters were not yelling into megaphones anymore. They're tearing up sidewalks and they're throwing chunks of concrete at law enforcement. Let's be clear, guys. This is no longer a protest. This is what you call urban warfare. And it's happening in broad daylight in cities that are run entirely by Democrats who refuse to call it what it is. And While Newsom and other blue state governors played political defense, the people on the ground, business owners, parents, veterans, they're the ones paying the price. Senior citizens can't walk down the street safely, guys. Medical bills should not rob you of your peace of mind. Julie from Kansas, she got tricked in the high cost plan by a broker, but guess what? Chapter saved the day and fixed it. She now saves $400 a year. Paulette Diner, she said, hey, Chapter helped me fix my son's Medicare after a year-long nightmare. What a blessing. Oh my God, after a year? Ooh. Wow. Thank you so much, Paulette, for sharing that with me. Hey, you guys, you don't need to fight the system alone. So just give our friends a Chapter call right now. Phone number is 909-563-8279, or better yet, hit them up on the web at askchapter.org/Ron. Link in the pinned comment or in the description down below. Let Chapter carry that weight for you. Okay, so let's get back to this, right? All of a sudden came the moment that shook the Democrats' base to their core. Okay, Senator John Federman, yes, a Democrat, publicly broke ranks with his own party and called out the chaos for what it really was. He didn't mince words either. In fact, he said, I unapologetically support free speech, immigration, and peaceful protest. But that was not it. That's chaos. That's unacceptable. And he backed ICE. You heard that right, guys. A Democratic senator said, we need ICE to enforce immigration law whenever it's broken. That one moment, guys, it was like cracking the foundation of the Democrat message, guys. Suddenly, all of a sudden, the narrative wasn't unified anymore. The cracks were showing. And it proved one thing. Even the left knows it's getting out of control. But even if you thought, John Federman was speaking out, and that was pretty bold, which it was, wait until you hear what House Speaker Mike Johnson said next. Ladies and gentlemen, he went scorched earth, accusing Democrats of siding with lawbreakers and MS-13 members. And the fallout, it hit hard. So I'm going to break down Johnson's warning, and then I want to dive into this massive voter backlash, including this huge 40-point shift among immigrant voters that could flip everything on its head. So right after Senator John Federman broke ranks, Speaker Mike Johnson stepped in, and he didn't hold back. In fact, what he said sent shockwaves throughout Washington. Mike Johnson, he straight up accused the Democrats of choosing the wrong side of history, not just politically, but morally. His words exactly are, Democrats are making a terrible political calculation. They're siding with lawbreakers, with illegal aliens, and in some cases, even MS-13 gang members. This is not some fringe accusation. This is the Speaker of the House accusing Democrats of defending violent criminals over law-abiding citizens. And he backed it up with numbers, pointing to the riots in LA, ICE sabotage, activist-driven mayhem. All of this is now completely spiraling out of control in all sorts of different cities with progressive policies reigning those areas. So it's no longer about border policy. It's no longer about immigration reform. Now it's about survival. Comment down below if you're scared to leave your house. Some people are saying in the comments that they're scared to leave their house. They don't even want to go out anymore because they don't feel like it's safe. Are you worried about, protests or rioters starting in your city? Let me know how you guys are feeling right now. So anyway, House Speaker Mike Johnson, he made it rather clear. Democrats choose criminals over communities, and now they're paying the price. And guess what? The people are noticing. According to CNN, not Fox News, not some blog, CNN just reported that support among immigrant citizens for Democrats has collapsed by 40 points since 2020. 40 points, guys. That's not a minor dip. That is a political landslide, and it makes sense. It makes total sense. You got legal immigrants, many of them Latino business owners, watching their cities burn, watching their businesses burn, while Democrats are calling it peaceful. You got families who followed the law, built a life here, raised kids here, watching their communities get overrun by people who broke in and are now shielded by politicians who claim to care about equity. Yeah, it's insulting, and they're done. But hang on, guys, it gets even more real because I want to show you guys this raging boiling over in Los Angeles, not just from voters, but from the very business owners that Democrats promised to protect. And we're gonna head over to Capitol Hill, where 3 sanctuary state governors are about to get grilled under oath. And trust me, you do not want to miss who they're blaming when the heat turns up. So if you really want to see where the Democrat strategy is collapsing, look no further than Los Angeles, because the very people who were supposed to be their strongest allies, they're furious. I mean, I'm talking about Latino business owners, guys, immigrant families who started businesses as entrepreneurs, as sole proprietors or LLC owners, whatever the case may be. They played by the rules. They worked hard. They built stores, businesses, shops, consulting firms, and they're watching everything that they built get torched in the name of equity. And what are they getting from the politicians that they voted for? Silence. They're getting ignored, or worse, statements like, well, the protests are mostly peaceful. So imagine watching your storefront smashed in, your restaurant being destroyed, your customers terrified, your windows being shattered. And then Hillary Clinton logs on the X and says, oh, it's peaceful. That's not just insulting, guys. That is clear betrayal. These business owners, they're saying exactly what the media refuses to admit. I came here legally. I contribute. I pay my taxes. I don't support this nonsense. They've been abandoned by the left, and they're done waiting to be rescued at this point. And so now it's not just voters demanding answers. It's Congress. This week, guys, 3 Democrat governors from New York, Minnesota, Illinois are being hauled before the House Oversight Committee to answer for the disaster they've enabled. All 3 states are sanctuary strongholds, and all 3 are facing rising crime, collapsing budgets, and community outrage, both from the left and the right. And so here's the kicker, guys. These governors aren't going to D.C. with a plan. They're going in with excuses. They're expected to blame the courts. They're going to blame Republicans, even blame the federal government, all while dodging accountability for the violent uprisings and backdoor benefits given to illegal immigrants at taxpayer expense. So this hearing is not just political theater. This is a reckoning, and it's exposing the truth. The sanctuary state model is crumbling, and people living in those states, those are the people who are paying the price right now. But now, here's where the story completely flips, okay? Remember how Democrats used to condemn military enforcement in cities? Well, now they're begging for it. So we're going to go and break down this stunning reversal that's happening behind closed doors, why some Democrats are secretly, quietly asking for troops to be deployed in their own districts. Yeah, don't tell anybody. Yeah, guys, wait until you hear what illegal immigrant DHS just arrested, okay? So, and he came back and he started throwing Molotov cocktails in a so-called sanctuary city. Boy, so for the most ironic twist of all, right? The very same Democrats who screamed about militarized cities and accused President Trump of fascism for sending in federal agents, they're begging for troops. Sources are now confirming that behind closed doors, some Democrat city leaders are now requesting National Guard presence to restore orders in areas where ICE has been overwhelmed. Let that sink in. The same people who sued to keep the military out of their cities are now calling for backup. They mocked Trump for deploying troops to Portland. They called it a human rights violation. Now, they want soldiers patrolling their streets because their own policies failed. This ain't leadership. This is surrender. And just when you think it couldn't get any worse, they pulled it off somehow. The Department of Homeland Security just confirmed the arrest of a previously deported illegal immigrant who was caught throwing Molotov cocktails during one of the ICE protests. You heard that right, guys. Deported once, got let back in somehow, and now trying to burn down another American city. So this isn't some hypothetical. This is political. This is not political spin. This is real. This is real. And it proves without a doubt that the Democratic sanctuary policies are endangering American lives. They protected this man once. He came back. He lit the streets on fire. And now they want troops to come in and clean it up? Unbelievable. But we're not done yet, because the final collapse is playing out right now. You got Hillary Clinton. She just called the riots peaceful in a post that it's already blowing up online. Hillary Clinton's post is going viral. Let's just put it to you like that, right? New polls are coming out and they're showing 66% of Americans now support mass deportations. If you support mass deportations, you let me know. So I want to also break down how Democrats are losing the middle, how their words are fueling the fire, and why the next election may already be out of reach. Now, you want to know how out of touch the Democrat elites have become? Hillary Clinton, yes, that Hillary Clinton, she posted on social media that the California riots are peaceful. That's right, guys, peaceful. While cars are getting torched, ICE agents being assaulted, Molotov cocktails are flying through the air, Hillary is on a Twitter rage acting like it's some yoga retreat. She got her yoga mat out there in the middle of the cars getting flipped over and the Molotov cocktails being thrown in the air. She out there trying to do yoga. People are standing on top of burning vehicles wearing masks, waving foreign flags, and Clinton's calling it civil discourse. What is she smoking? No wonder voters are done listening. She's not alone either, though. Democrat leaders are also, they're so married to their failed messaging that they would rather die. They would rather lie to the public than admit like what's right in front of them. That's what they're doing right now. And that's why the numbers are turning so fast. A brand new poll just dropped, and it's devastating for the left. 66% of Americans are now saying they support deporting illegal immigrants. No qualifiers, no exceptions. And this wasn't some right-wing poll. This was mainstream data, guys. And it's not just about criminals. This is about restoring law and order in a country where Democrat leaders have clearly lost control. Think about that. The party that once branded ICE as evil is now screaming for the military to bail them out. Guys, the same politicians who said walls were racist, and now they're begging for barricades. And it all started when a judge stabbed Newsom in the back. This is crazy, right? So when the law stepped in and said, enough, you don't own this anymore, like, the game changed clearly, right? So here we are, guys. Democrat cities, they're in flames. ICE agents are under attack. Voters are flipping. And now the very people who mocked military force are now screaming and begging for it. Because deep down, they know that the rest of America already figured it out. You cannot have open borders and law and order at the same time. My mom used to say, you can't have your cake and eat it too. I didn't really understand what that meant at the time, but now I do. And you cannot protect criminals and communities. You can't. You can't protect the communities and the criminals at the same time. It's one or the other. And when the judge made that ruling, when Newsom got overruled in front of the whole country, it didn't just shatter his own authority, it exposed the entire lie. So now, guys, if you think that this story needs to be heard, please share this video with someone who still believes these riots are peaceful. They need to have their eyes opened. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you want to, or don't. But if you do hit the like button, it lets the algorithm know that this video is worth watching, so it does not bury the truth. Also, subscribe for more uncensored coverage that you're not going to get from CNN. Till next time, guys. Hey, by the way, guys, if you're one of the real ones who really enjoy what we do here on the channel, you've got to check out the Inner Circle. This is where our true supporters get exclusive access to content that I just can't share here, completely commercial free. It's also the best way to keep this channel going strong. So if you want to be a part of something special, join us over there. Links in the description or in the pinned comment down below.